The PATS 2 is a Honeywell-defined desktop PC used to support Honeywell flight data and cockpit voice recorders. The system contains a computer, a GBE card and its drivers, self-test external loopback cable, and software to test the loopback functionality. Depending on your recorder test requirements, additional software and hardware are available. If you have ordered additional equipment such as Honeywell automated test software and test cables, they will show up on a separate invoice. Reference documents can be obtained from the Honeywell Technical Publications web portal. User's guides are also conveniently located on the programs themselves. In Table 1001, we see there are two pieces that are not supplied and commercially available. One is the power supply. The other is a Y-adapter cable used in audio adjustments. You can build this cable from the supplied drawing.
Note: PATS for HFR5 is required to perform PATS 2 setup.
When working with a factory test in a service environment, there is some document forgiveness that may occur. We will note these as we walk through this document. Table 1003 is a list of factory test procedures used in testing the RPGSE or PATS 2. Some of these procedures are used for older versions of PATS 2, RPGSE, and their supported ground-based equipment circuit card. Figure 1003 is the factory configuration setup and test for the GBE card. The GBE circuit card has already been configured and tested in the factory. In this video, we will not be demonstrating these configuration procedures. However, it is recommended the operator be familiar with the GBE configuration if troubleshooting is required at a later date. For this application with a new PATS 2, we will be using a copy of the factory acceptance test procedure referenced in Table 1003, Figure 1004 of the GEM as Procedure 952-0051-720 for the top assembly. Referencing Figure 1004, since your PATS 2 tester has already been configured and tested in the factory, the only section of interest in the verification test is paragraph 6 and 7. Previous steps may be useful in troubleshooting, reconfiguring, or repair of your PATS 2. Paragraph 6.1 through 6.2 have already been installed in the factory, so we will not need to do those. Let's walk through the audio settings. One important note here is that the commercial off-the-shelf PC supplier may change, therefore some of the screen images may change as well. In general, the sound card must be set to stereo with one speaker device and one microphone. Connect the Y adapter cable to the PATS computer, line out, or the green jack. Disable digital audio as shown here. Next, select Speaker Properties and disable all enhancement options. Select OK and close Speaker Properties window. From the sound window, select the Recording tab. Connect the Y adapter cable to the PATS computer microphone in jack. Press Disable Line-In Device. Next, highlight the microphone device and select Properties. If the jack information field shows Front Panel, Select Don't use this device or disable. In the Microphone Properties Level tab, slide the microphone to 100 and microphone boost to 00 dB. Select OK to close Microphone Properties window. Note, repeat this step for any additional microphone devices. Now select the Sound tab, select No Sounds from Sound Scheme, press OK to close the sound window. It is important that the PC does not go to sleep or go into hibernation. Therefore, we will need to set up the power options to high performance. Reference figure 6-9. In order for the PATS-2 to communicate to the HFR5 recorders, it will need to have a static IP address. Follow the procedure in the gem. Note, this may have already been set up in the factory. From the Network Connections window, change the name of Ethernet 2 to Recorders. Under the Recorders Properties, select Configure, then Advanced. Set the speed and duplex option to 10 millibits per second full duplex. Right-click on the Recorders adapter and select Properties. From the Recorders Properties window, uncheck all connection options except for Internet Protocol version 4. Highlight the Internet Protocol version 4 connection and select Properties. From the Internet Protocol version 4 Properties window, select Use the following IP address option. Enter the following: 192.168.27.1 for the IP address and 255.255.255.0 for the submask. Select Advanced. From the Advanced TCP IP setting window, select the Wins tab and select the Disable Net BIOS over TCP IP option. Select OK to close the Advanced window. Select OK to close the Internet Protocol version 4 Properties window. Select Close to close the Recorder's Property window. GBE card drivers and GBE self-test software should already have been installed. However, this procedure is useful in troubleshooting or in case you need to reload the drivers in the future. Note, it is important to follow the instructions and not change any of the settings. In order to fully test the PATS-2, we will need to test and adjust the audio portion of the GBE card. This will require two different Honeywell Automated Test Software, or HATS. Follow the instructions to install HATS software. PATS-2 audio is only used for SSCVR, DVDR, AR-CVR, AR combination, and HFR5-V applications. To ensure proper functionality of the GBE board, we will need to run a wraparound test. Insert the wraparound cable as shown here. Use caution since this connector has many small delicate pins which bend easily. This test generates output signals. The cable then wraps the signals back into the GBE board for verification of the transmitted signals. Continuing on, let's go to the HATS audio calibration test. Connect the audio plug end of the Y cable to the PATS-2 line out jack. Now connect one of the BNC connectors to the oscilloscope. Note, A cable must be connected to the PATS 2 line-out jack before the HATS for HFR5 SSCVR/DVDR is launched. Launch application. Select Yes if prompted to perform audio calibration. From the audio calibration dialog, select Configure Audio Channels. Select Play and Calibrate. This will enable 4 audio tones one at a time to the line-out jack. Measure the peak-to-peak amplitude from the oscilloscope and enter the results on the computer. Then press Next to display the next frequency. Repeat until you have recorded all 4 frequencies. After you have finished with the speaker calibration, remove the Y cable and set it aside. Connect a double-ended 3.5 mm stereo audio cable between the line-out jack and the microphone jack. This will be your audio loopback test. To match the cable impedance, this cable should match in length of the ATP cable. Select OK on the dialog box. The loopback test will run until optimal volume level is obtained. This may take several minutes to complete. A dialog box will appear with test results. In order to fully test the PATS 2, we will need to test the interface between a recorder and tester. For the FDR products, we will test the RS-232 and the ARINC 717 interface. For the CVR products, we will test the ARINC 429 interface. To do this, we will be running a recorder ATP test. Note, if you have only purchased software and hardware for a particular recorder, use that setup. If you have multiple recorder types, test all cables and software necessary to perform the required test. In this scenario, we will be testing a HFR5 flight data recorder. Since you will be using a PATS 2 station to test and recertify your Honeywell recorders, there is no need to uninstall the HATS software when finished. Fill out the acceptance test datasheet as required. Place a Not Applicable or NA in areas that aren't required. In conclusion, here are some strong recommendations from Honeywell Engineering. It has been observed from field testers that the use of non-conforming software can have effects on tester to LRU timing, causing negative effects on test results. Honeywell only recommends the following non-Honeywell software be installed in the PATS 2. All other software can affect its performance. This concludes our video on PATS 2 entry into service tips and tricks.
This video is for training purposes only and should not be used as a replacement for any technical publication.